Hello again. So this Scratch tutorial is for beginners, and this is going to be your first piece of coding or algorithm, as we call it. Now, an algorithm is a set of rules that our computer has to follow. Okay, so any sort of coding that we do on a computer, we call these algorithms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this crab sprite that I had before by clicking on the little dustbin there. I'm just going to use this sprite that I created in the previous tutorial. Now, this is a really easy algorithm. Okay, and if you just follow my instructions exactly, then you can't go wrong. A good thing about doing it like this as well is if there's a bit you miss, then you can always rewind the video and play that bit again. Okay, so as I said before, this is our stage over here, and here is where we do our coding or creating our algorithm. Okay, now on the far left hand side, make sure you've got the code tab pressed. Okay, you've got all these different categories here: motion, looks, sound, events, control, sensing, operations, variables, and my blocks. Now, we're not going to concern ourselves with these bottom four for today, so in fact we're only going to use a couple, to be honest. So we're going to start with an event. Now, what you'll find in Scratch is most of what you do will start with an event. Now, an event is something like when I press a key, so when space key pressed, okay, or when this sprite is clicked. Okay, so it's an instruction to start something, so to start our algorithm or our code. Now, I like to use this one, when green flag is clicked. So what you'll find with that is green flag is like the go of your game. When you want your game or animation or whatever it is you're doing to start, I always like to use when green flag clicked. So that's my first thing. So once again, you go to events, when green flag clicked. Okay, so that's going to start my algorithm. Now, what we're going to do is quite simply make this sprite that I've created bounce around the screen. Simple as that. So my next step, I'm going to go over here to my categories again, and I'm going to click on this orange one, okay, which is control. And what I'm going to say is I want my code to happen forever after I click the green flag. All right. Okay, so that once again I went over to control, I clicked on forever and I dragged it across the screen. I stuck it underneath when green flag clicked. Okay, now it's really important that you follow the order in which I do things. Okay, so if you do this in the wrong order, then your coding isn't going to work for this. What we're going to do now is we're going to make our sprite move across the screen. The way we would find that, as you probably guessed, is by going to motion, like so. Now I am going to grab this one here, which is move 10 steps. Now, my sprite is not going to move just 10 steps, because what I've said is when I click the green flag, forever move 10 steps. So that means it's going to move 10 steps, 10 steps, 10 steps, on and on and on and on and on forever. All right. So what should happen now is my sprite should move across the screen as soon as I press the green flag. So here we go. Now he's moved across the screen, but then he's stopped because he's hit the edge. All right, so I'm just going to stop my coding for a moment. Clicking the stop button here. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to go scroll down with my mouse. Now, if you're using a any laptop with a pad, okay, like a mouse pad, Okay, if you put 2 fingers on your mouse pad, you can scroll up and down like that. If you are using what we call a desktop PC, so that's one with a separate screen and a separate computer, you'll have a mouse, and the mouse will have a wheel in the middle that you slide up and down in order to move. I'm using a laptop, so I'm using my mouse pad. So I'm going to scroll down, and this one here, if on edge, bounce, and I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to stick it underneath my move 10 steps. So now I can actually move my sprite by just dragging it across if I want to start from the middle again. Now, when I press go, hopefully what's going to happen is it's going to hit the side over here, and it's going to bounce back and forward like that until I tell it to stop. So let's give that a try. There we go. It's bouncing back and forth across the screen. Now, that's a bit boring. I want it to be a bit more exciting. So I want it to bounce around everywhere around the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another bit of coding. Again, I'm going to scroll along here, and I'm going to get this one. Point in direction. Okay. I'm going to drag this. Now remember I said it's really important that you get the order correct. So I'm going to drag it across, but I'm not going to put it in here with my move 10 steps and my if on edge bounce. I'm going to put it here on my, well, after my green flag clicked. Now what this is going to do is going to set the direction in which my ball bounces around. Now I could, if you know about angles, I could type 45 degrees, or I could type 180 degrees depending on, oops, do that properly, 180 degrees like that. Well, the other way to do it is just simply click, left click that is, and drag it around to whatever angle you would like. So I've got when green flag clicked, point in direction 45 degrees, and forever move 10 steps, bouncing off the edge. Let's give that a try. And there we have it. Now, if I want to speed up my bouncing, I can just increase this number here. So I'm at 10 steps at the moment. If I wanted to go faster, I'm going to try 30 steps. So 30 steps is going to be really fast. You don't want to do anything silly like 100 or 1,000 or something like that, because you won't even be able to see it. Okay, so this one, here we go. As you can see, it's bouncing around the screen quite nicely. Okay, so here ends the tutorial. See you next time.